enthusiasts, in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at the Topdon Tornado 4000 battery charger and maintainer, and I have one to give away to a lucky viewer. The competition will be open until the end of February 2022, and to take part all you've got to do is leave me a comment down the bottom and start that comment with the words Topdon. If you want to get your hands on one before then, there is also a discount code available which will give you 20% off the retail price, and that discount code is valid until the 17th of February. So, before we get into today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you're not a subscriber, and go and check out Topdon's Facebook page. Link is in the description down below. Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? I hope you're well and I hope you're having a great day. So today, something a little bit different, as you might have seen in the title. I'm doing a project review. We're not working on one of the projects, which is quite unusual. I don't often do these, but I did get contacted by this company called Topdon via email, and they just said, would you like one of our battery testers to trial? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll have something for free. There's no obligation. They didn't tell me I had to make a video. I haven't got to say good things about them, but I thought it's only fair. It's a good product, and I thought I'd share it with you viewers. And it was quite timely as well. So this is my old Halford's battery charger. I've probably had it for about 10 years. It served me pretty well, but I could do with something a little bit better. So this works fine, but it's not an intelligent battery charger. It just pumps volts and amps into a battery, and it doesn't do it in a very clever way, to be honest. So some of the downfalls with this type of battery charger is it is permanently live. So once you switch it on, these terminals are live and they're spark. So you've got to be quite careful, especially when you're charging a battery, because they can give off explosive gases. So yeah, it's not a great idea that they're live, but if you follow the instructions and you do it properly, you should connect up the battery before you plug in and turn it on, which is what we're going to do here. So as you can see, bit of a dodgy plug. That's one of the reasons I need to replace it. So it's charging now. We have two modes on there, fast charge or normal charge. It just ups the amperage. It charges at about, I think, 6 amps on fast charge, 6 amps peak. You'll see if I cover up that light, it's already saying ready, and that is because that battery is at above 12.76 volts. Even though it says ready, this charger doesn't switch off. It will just keep pumping in volts, and the battery will keep accepting it, and what it will do, it will just overcharge the battery over time. And I found this out the hard way years and years ago, where I did just leave it connected to a battery for, I connected it up and honestly just forgot about it for it's probably 6 or 7 weeks, and I went out there and it had boiled the battery dry. I picked the battery up and I'm like, oh, there's no electrolyte in there. It had boiled it dry. So even though it's fully charged, it carries on charging. And like I say, there is always a spark risk. So you've got to make sure you switch off and disconnect first. So it wasn't that expensive, to be honest. It served me proud. So when Topdon said, would I like a battery charger for free? Yeah, definitely. So this is the Topdon Tornado 4000. It's a battery charger and a maintainer as well. So it's worth pointing out, as a battery charger, it's only 4 amp. So it's not going to fast charge a battery. If you've got a flat battery in the morning, you need to charge the car up quickly, this ain't going to do it. You're going to have to leave it on charge for a good, depending on the size and capacity of the battery, maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 plus hours sometimes if it's a very big battery. So let's just have a start by looking at what's in the box. It comes very nicely packaged. Feels like a premium product, to be honest, which is quite nice. Price wise, I don't know the current prices. They're going to vary up and down, so I'm not going to see, but I will stick a link down in the description. If you want to go and check it out and have a look, please do. At the moment, when I look around at similar type chargers that look very, very identical to it actually and do the same things, it's about half the price, so it seems good value at the moment. So we get a big thick instruction manual. Don't worry, it's in loads of different languages, so there's only actually about 8 or 9 pages that tell you how it works, so nothing too complicated. The actual charger itself is just this block here. It's not particularly impressive. It has mounting fixings on the back if you want to wall mount it. A couple of good things I found straight away. It has a nice long UK plug on it, so plenty of cable length on the plug, and it has plenty of cable length at the other end as well for when you're connecting to a car. You'll notice it has a quick connector on there, and I'll show a little bit more in a moment of the options you get with this quick connector. But it's very, very simple. It's just got one button on it, a mode button. That's dual function, so if you double click it, it cycles through the charge modes, and if you press and hold it, it basically turns it on or turns it into standby mode. So if I just switch on, we'll get the check lights, and it's flashing at the moment, so it stays on the last mode you had it in. So it's set on 12 volt normal lead acid batteries at the moment, and when it's flashing it's in standby mode, and if I double click it, it will go through the other modes there. So it does 12 volt regular flooded, it does AGM, it does lithium-ion batteries, it does 6 volt batteries, and it has a repair mode as well. So if you've got a battery which has been discharged, damaged, been left flat for a long time, you can try the repair mode to try and recover it. So typically for me, the two problems I actually have 6 cars in the household now, and I hardly ever use any of them. So my batteries suffer from 2 problems. The first one is stratification. So that is the separation of the acid in the electrolyte. So the electrolyte is basically acid and obviously deionized water, and over time they'll separate, so you get a higher concentration of acid in the bottom of the battery than you do in the top. Now the problem that causes is the high concentration of acid damages the plates and cells within the battery. So in normal sort of use, when you're driving the car around and it's wobbling around and shaking about and going over bumps and that, and just the natural process of charging and discharging mixes up that electrolyte and stops it from stratifying. But if you've got a battery that's just sitting there in a garage, disconnected from the car, it will stratify. So this, in its maintenance mode, sorts out battery stratification by obviously pumping voltage through the battery and getting the electrolyte moving. And the other problem my batteries typically suffer with, which I've been a lot more sort of on top of it recently, because otherwise if you don't keep on top of battery maintenance and you don't use a car a lot, you end up buying a battery every 1 or 2 years. The other problem I suffer with is sulfation. So that is when the battery drops below around about 12.5 volts. The electrolyte in the battery can start to crystallize and sulfate, and you actually get sulfur crystals on the plates of the battery. Those sulfur crystals impair the flow of electrons through the electrolyte from one plate to another. Over a short period of time, it's soft sulfation. So if you've let it go flat for a few days or a week or something like that, and you charge it back up, the process of charging it will break down that sulfation and you haven't damaged the battery. However, if you leave it in a discharge state for a long time, those sulfur crystals go hard and you permanently damage the battery. It could be a brand new battery, and if you let the voltage drop below sort of 12.4, 12.3 volts and leave it for weeks, you will permanently damage the battery from sulfation there. You can get smart chargers which will pulse the voltage. I don't have an oscilloscope or anything like that to test this one, but it does have a battery sulfation mode. So what I think that usually does is it pulses the voltage very, very quickly, well above 12 volts, and that actually can, it vibrates the plates and it helps break down the sulfation on the cells of that battery. So this battery charger has those 2 modes into it, so for me it's really, really useful. I digress a bit, we're going into the unboxing, aren't we? The first thing it has in here is a standard set of crocodile clip connectors. These seem very, very good quality. They're either copper or copper gold coated terminals, which obviously helps with electrical conductance. And the great thing about this is you see these quick connectors, so you never have to worry about a spark with this. So you connect them up, positive to negative, positive to positive, negative to negative, and you connect up first before you connect up the unit. But this will not actually turn on until it's done a battery diagnostics. It has reverse polarity protection on there, so if you have connected it the wrong way round, it just won't turn on in the first place. And the terminals are also not live, so even though we're switched on here, I can connect them together and there's no problem at all, and I can be a complete and utter numpty and connect them the wrong way round to the battery, and nothing's going to happen because it does the battery diagnostics first, and it will not click, it will not kick in and start charging until it's done that battery diagnostics, which is really, really useful. So you can't really get it wrong. The other connector it has in here, which is really nice and useful. So these are really good actually, these quick connectors. Very quick, secure fitting on there. You'll notice both lots of connectors are fused as well, which is quite nice, good safety measure. 10 amp blade fuse in there. It has this ring terminal connector in there. Now this is very, very useful. So if I've got a car like Sprout where it's got a boot install in there, the battery's underneath, like with most Minis to be honest, especially if you've got an audio stereo install in the car, it can actually be a bit of a pain to get to the battery. So the idea with these is you connect it permanently to the battery and you have just this fly lead sticking out somewhere, and you can just come along them with your charger and connect up, and you don't have to worry about taking your whole boot apart. This is IP65 rated as well, which from memory, the 6 in 65 is dust proof, so you don't have to worry about dust getting in there. And the 5 rating is it's waterproof or resistant to jets of water, so you've not got to worry about if this was outside and it got caught in a rain shower, you don't have to worry about it. Will be absolutely fine. I'm actually going to go and fit this quick connector onto my wife's BMW Mini because that regularly needs charging up. It doesn't get used a great deal, to be honest. The other Minis, I generally disconnect the batteries and take the batteries off the car. So it's really handy for me now. I can just go around, connect up, and I can put them into maintenance mode on here and just make sure they're kept tip top. I guess the only thing I would love, and I've not searched around, maybe they do them, because I've got 4 Minis at the moment, and the BMW, that's 5 Minis, that's 5 cars that don't get used a great deal. I could do with 5 of these because I'll fit this on one of the car, but I could do with a few more. So I don't know whether they do them, but I will have a look. But I guess that's it really. I mean, there's a lot of bump on the packaging. It has a 10-step smart charge process. Like I say, I don't have an oscilloscope or anything to check the claims here. But it basically, step 1 is a battery diagnostics. It then does battery desulfation, soft start processed, battery initialization, the bulk battery charge, which I would imagine is the main part of the charge. It then has an absorption mode. So after the bulk battery charge, I would imagine what it does there is it just backs off the charge. It lets all the cells balance, get back to a consistent voltage across the cells, and then it will charge again. It has a battery recondition, battery optimization, battery float charge, which is keeping it at the maintenance level, correct voltage, and a battery restart charge. And like I say, it has on there the repair mode in there if you've got a battery which is a bit iffy. So I'm going to go and fit that now on the BMW Mini, and I'll show you it working. But like I say, it's not a sponsored video. I think it's quite a good product. For the price, it's pretty good. And that's my little review. I hope it's been useful. Right, so I'm going to use the tester on my BMW Mini. The battery's not that difficult to get to on this actually, but the terminals are. So the terminals are covered and they're at the back. You can probably just get the crocodile clip on them, but just for ease, I've just fitted the quick connector using the ring terminal, so I don't actually have to take that off and fit the connector each time. So we've got a quick connector that's just fitted through the side there. Hopefully I can do this one-handed. So I'll click nice, quick and easy. We're on normal 12 volt at the moment. We want to be on cold
AGM because it's an AGM battery. So double click AGM, and then we'll press and hold. It will then do a diagnostics and measure the state of charge. So there we go, it's just clicked on, and the battery's at 25% state of charge, so it did need charging. So we'll probably leave that on there for a good 6 hours now, but like I say, it's IP65 rated, so we haven't got to worry about it getting wet or anything like that. Obviously we do have to, the 3-pin plug, but yeah, nice, quick and easy.